Whenever you're ready.
We all use computer programs every day, even if it's not a standard computer. When you're using your cell phones, you're using programs, computer programs, the ATM machine, and even places you might not even consider programs, like in the car. And what I'm going to be doing today is taking you through what is called object-oriented programming. As you see here, it's a style or technique of developing applications. And there's just a few parts that you need to know about. You're going to need to know what an object is and how modularization works with objects, classes, and methods or functions. Different programming languages use different terms, so we're using both methods and functions, and they're actually the same. They do the same thing. They're the same. Leave it at that. All right, an object. In programming, anything can be an object. Objects simply are a combination of specific data along with the functions or methods needed to manipulate that data. We'll get back to objects in a second. Modularization allows for programmers to develop code in parts. Basically like modular homes. You build a section, another line builds another section, and put them all together and you got the finished product. Classes. This is what gave me the hardest problem when I started learning about objects. I didn't understand if it's an object, why are they using it as calling it a class? But the class basically is a blueprint that which creates an instance of itself. You can read that. I won't read that to you. I read what I have. This simply means that the classes map out the object and the functions needed for that class, for the class data actually. And you probably keep hearing, wondering what data I'm talking about. It's pretty much anything also. This is the strange thing about computer programming is you have a computer that has a program that understands another program, and that program reads another program, and by the time you start thinking about it, you don't know which came first, the program or the computer. All right, we'll move on to the methods and functions. The function, a function, the language I use is PHP, and in PHP we use functions instead of methods. I think it's just a way to be different. A function is a block of code that has a name and a specific purpose, and the property, and it also has a property that is reusable. Now functions, they can be used in many different programs. The functions are kind of off-site, I guess I would say. You could have a, we'll call this a file with all your functions on it. And then you can have programs that use these functions. And these programs necessarily don't have to be working together. All right, we're going to make an object. Oh, I jumped the gun on you. Sorry. Spoiled the surprise. We're going to be making a vehicle. All right, so the first thing you do is you can see here, we can tell what do all vehicles have in common. Well, they got a little more in common than this, but just to make it easy, in 7 minutes, we'll go with this. Here's the class we spoke about earlier. All this does is tells the program that the vehicle will be a class, and this is the data. The variables that we're going to use is going to collect the data. So, say for inventory reasons, you're on a car lot, you got a program that asks you model year, model mileage. Whoever is working will type all this in. The computer will read, okay, we got a vehicle coming, and the first variable, it'll collect all the data for you. Now here's the functions. The functions use the data different ways. This first one simply tells the computer that the vehicle is coming, or it's going to need to use the class vehicle. This is a little harder to explain than I thought it would be. All right, when you're coding, you will need to tell the computer that this vehicle this is actually it's a function, but it's also an object that we created. This declares the vehicle. As you see, we just need that first one. It's empty. Normally right here we would have some bits of code instructions to tell the vehicle how to act. But on this one we don't need it. We're just reminding the computer that the vehicle data will be coming. These next ones, I only did these two for you. They're all basically the same. It's set and get. Now your functions, these are, I made these functions. These aren't functions that pre-exist. There are lots of pre-existing functions. You want to name your function something that you understand. The $ is just a symbol that says this is a variable. And if you can read that, you're doing better than a lot of people. And the get, basically, alright. I had just got confused. I didn't see, I thought I left out my, I don't know, I can't remember what that's called. But no, I didn't. Isn't it that I don't need it for the get. So that's the other functions will look the same. If you remember, we had the other variables. We do the same for each one, and this could work for inventory reasons or search reasons. If you use set to enter all the inventory, and you use the get to search. So in the example, it shows you a few simple functions. And like I said, the name of the function, you can name it whatever you want, or you want to keep the names meaningful so that if you're working in a team, you want other people to know what your functions are supposed to do. So we went over what an object is, modularization, classes, and functions. Yeah, this was the very basics of objects and how to use them and how they make programmers' jobs easier. I hope I was able to explain all this in a non-nerd way. But if anybody has any questions about it, or interested in programming, or just want to talk about codes, anything really to do with it, you can stop me in the hall and I'll talk to you about it. The more I talk about it, the more it helps me understand, so I try to do as much as I can with it. Uh-oh. Oh. That's it, guys.